Hello and welcome or welcome back. It's Tuesday of a new week. I am finishing off the final edit of a paper that is being submitted into a conference. We've just come up from a bank holiday weekend and I spent the entire weekend more or less working on this paper. So I'm feeling already at the start of the week a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of burnout. I have a lot of stuff I need to do this week, which I'll talk to you about soon. I'm hoping that later in the week I'll be able to get a bit more time for rest. Even this afternoon, I'm hoping for a bit of time for rest before taking on the kind of main task that I need to do today. It's been intense. I have a new camera which I'm trying out, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I want to try and pop on this lens and see if this makes a difference at all, because I think for the sake of vlogging it might make a bit of a difference, give us a bit more of a wide angle perhaps. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, it definitely brings in more of the computer here. Doing the final read through of a paper now, that is my task, and then I may take a bit of a kind of a break. I haven't had a break over the last couple of days at all. Really annoyingly, my mouse seems to have given up on life. It won't connect to my laptop anymore, so it means I have to be in this uncomfortable position of moving around the mouse all the time, which is not ideal. I did get my final version of the paper in, and we also sent off my corrected version of the thesis that I just couldn't figure out how to produce the marked up version of my thesis for a while, so I just didn't do that for a couple weeks. And then I scrolled on my phone for an hour, because this is real life, people. It's something that I'm trying not to do so much anymore because it really makes me feel like crap, and it's surely there could have been another way that I spent that hour that I would have enjoyed a bit more. I could have gone to bed for an hour. That probably would have been nice. Don't really know what to do now to kind of get me out of that mental mode. I do feel like I need a proper rest, but I also know that I have a big task I need to do. But maybe I will just be kind to myself and leave it until tomorrow. But if I'm going to do that, I need to properly have an enjoyable afternoon. So I have a lot of big stuff I need to do this week for the business that I run. My plan was to take a big task every day. So doing the re-enrollment stuff today, doing the exam info stuff tomorrow, and then the following day, FET information. But it's been a really tough couple of days with working on this paper that I just feel like I need maybe to just take some time this afternoon for myself, and that will not be scrolling my phone time, but actually enjoyable time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some food of some description, and I'm going to do my meal prep and clean the bathrooms and change my bedding, because these are all things that have been need to do them this week. I don't necessarily need to do them all right now, but I feel like if I don't do those things, I will end up just spending more time on my phone, and then I'll end up feeling like absolute shit. There's a choice. Alternatively, I could go for a walk. It's kind of nice outside. Maybe I'll do both of those things. I don't know. But it's nearly 3 o'clock. I have to leave the house at about 6. I think we might call this vlog how to be productive when you really just don't want to be. Because realistically, again, this is what life is like. These things happen. This is sometimes the way things go. This is just how we feel sometimes. But I think I will do my meal prep stuff, because that is the anxiety today. Oh my god, the anxiety is real. That is an easier thing to do. So I think for dinner I'm gonna have some salmon, or I don't know what to call this meal that I'm going to have relatively soon, because I am hungry. So I'm gonna have some salmon, some greens, some other veg, some potatoes. So this is the stuff that I prepped for for eating right now. And then this is, I guess, lunch/dinner for the next couple of days. And then I also have these that I'm just going to put into a different lunchbox because these will probably last for like 2 more meals. I think this vlog, as I said, is going to be like how to be productive when you don't want to be productive, or when you don't feel like being productive. The main thing that I've learned over the year is that when you don't feel like working, don't. If you don't feel like working, don't work, but like you can't obviously do that all the time. Usually if you are really not wanting to work, it's a sign that there could be something more going on. Like you might be tired, and that could be a kind of chronic tiredness that's been building up, kind of leading into burnout. And as somebody who has experienced a lot of burnout in the past, I now am very mindful when I'm feeling this way that it's usually a sign that I need a break. And taking breaks can be difficult because there's kind of a right way to rest in a sense. Like sometimes you just need to fully rest, but other times you need to be doing something like creative or fun or specifically recharging. That, like I said, scrolling on my phone is not it. And it's not going to actually make me feel any more relaxed or any more like I want to get back into work. And I have stuff to do this week, so it's not like I can take the whole week off. That is just not the life of a small business CEO. And I had, that paper due today that like I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's kind of a push and pull at times, but for the most part, if I can, I'll take a day off. So today is kind of that day where the rest of the afternoon, as much as I can, I'm taking off. I don't think I'm going to do any more work today. I'm just going to leave things until tomorrow and come back a bit more fresh. But I'm really going to try and focus for the next couple of hours that I do have to really try and recharge. So that's like listening to music that I really like, cleaning, like resetting my space so that tomorrow when I look around, like I'm not surrounded by all of the stuff that I haven't done, I want to be able to look around and feel relaxed, which that wasn't currently the situation. So I have already kind of cleaned out the office space that we have at home. Obviously doing my meal prep at the moment. I'll do a little bit of a clean of the kitchen, which will make me feel better. And then I'm moving on to tackling bed sheets and bathroom and bins, the triple threat of the bee. Okay, so I got all my cleaning done except for the bins, which I'm going to do now in a couple minutes. I have an extra rehearsal for my acting class this evening. We don't have rehearsals this week except for Sunday. We have a full day rehearsal to make up for the fact that we don't have rehearsals. They have decided to add a rehearsal this evening, which I'm fine about, but I would have loved if we didn't have one, to be honest, because I do feel like it's going to be beneficial, provided a good few people show up, but I at least know that like my main scene partner will be there. I do feel definitely a lot better than I did earlier, so I'm hoping as well, because I have a nice like walk to my acting class, I'm hoping that will also put me in a good mood. I think because there's something that I need to do for one of our customers, I'm going to do it on the way, which means making sure I need to leave pretty much by 6. I would usually never vlog out and about because it's so embarrassing, but like having this little mic on here, I know that my voice is going to get picked up, probably, even though it's quite noisy with the wind, and it doesn't mean like I don't have to speak super loud. And holding the camera, like I can pretty much hold it down below and it's going to track my face either way, whereas it's like not as obvious as holding things up here and being super obvious with the vlog. So I feel like this is going to be a game changer in terms of trying to film more, especially when I'm going from place to place. And again, I don't want to make it super obvious because it's not super obvious. So we are home. Hooray. It's been a long day. I am going to the gym first thing. Well, not first thing, but pretty early. So I just want to leave out my stuff. The extra acting class was definitely worth doing, though there was only a couple of people there, which is not ideal. I'm still feeling pretty awake. I'm hoping that feeling dissipates somewhat soon. I have settled on this book, Haven by Emma Donoghue. Emma Donoghue is an Irish author. She wrote the book Room, which, if you've seen the movie Room starring Brie Larson, she wrote that book. I'm really glad that I took the afternoon today, because even just coming home and like looking around and being like, oh, things are tidy, things are clean. It's a luxury that we can afford, you know? So, you know, the next 3 days are going to be like intense, I think, work-wise. I'm hoping just 2 days of work. And I'm hoping to take kind of a half day on Friday. But I think that might be a bit ambitious. Because I'd like to have a more restful Friday and Saturday this week. Because Sunday this week we have an extra rehearsal, full day rehearsal for the play that I'm in. And then next week is going to be a busy week. The weekend is going to be busy because I have my show. There's not going to be as much time for rest and relaxation. So it's really important that over the next couple of days I get that rest and relaxation. I do have a lot of work to do this week, 100%. I don't know how many times I've said that in this vlog already. I also have a lot of resting to do. And that is equally important if I want to continue like so, especially because I cannot afford to be getting sick. I don't have any kind of inkling of getting sick. I haven't been sick since December, and that is largely down to additional sleep, additional rest, making time for myself and whatnot. But if we end up veering into that, like getting up early, getting work done early, and like, you know, that kind of problematic area, then I'll be concerned, because that is when sickness will fall upon me. Okay, so when I really don't feel like working, when I'm struggling to get started with work, I try and keep this list of to-dos going anyways, like long form, but sometimes I break it down and I just give myself a daily to-do list. Daily to-do lists are not the best thing, because sometimes, you won't get through all the things you want to do. Other stuff will come up during the day, especially for me, like running a business. I never know what's going to hit me, but I do feel pretty confident that there's not going to be certain things that take me away from what I want to do today. So I'm pretty comfortable with being able to get this stuff done today. I take whatever item is on my to-do list. Ideally, I'll kind of define these a little bit more clearly. It's helpful once you have something on your to-do list to try and turn that into a specific action. So for example, casting, I have actually got 2 actions here. One being email request extension, and then send details. So specifically email details to students. So just making things specific can really help, first of all. So once you know what the next task is, that really helps. So sometimes some of these tasks can be feeling like they're a lot bigger than they actually are. So promote on socials, that is kind of a vague task at the moment. So that kind of turns into something kind of different, which is create Instagram post, and then post on Instagram, and then share details to Facebook groups. So now it's kind of, again, just taking these and breaking them up into smaller steps, like of what the actual specific email is here. So this is contacting one of our venues about a specific date. Like some of these, I know what the task is. And if I have any doubt about what the task is, this will be one that I divide up a bit more. Like, for example, this feels a bit icky. If there's specific tasks on your list that you're finding a lot of resistance to, it's probably because they're not well defined. That will usually help to make the list a little bit more digestible, because I'll start to have a bit more sense of what specifically I need to do, so that when I come to do it, it's a lot easier. The other things that I do is I look at what are the context of the tasks. So in what context are these tasks taking place? And this might kind of be a back and forth, because you'll realize, oh, actually, inbox 0, it means replying to all the emails in my inbox, but sometimes there's more I need to do than just reply to the emails. So it ends up being an at desk task, because I might need to download stuff and send them off. So it's just having a little bit more focus than just sending an email. The casting stuff will be emails, checking out our payments to make sure that the link that I'm going to share in this next task, which is why these are paired, I have to do that at desk because I'm logging into a different platform. Sending off our re-enrollment email, that will be an email task. Contacting previously interested students, that's an email task. Updating the website, that's an at desk task. Promoting on socials, again, at desk, because I have to create the post, and then eventually it'll be on phone as well for the Instagram one. Contacting one of our venues about a date, that is an email task. Getting in touch with the staff about a party that we may have on Friday, as in not a party, but just like a normal staff event. That's going to be an on-phone task. Getting in touch with the FESH finalists to let them know that they've gotten to the FESH, and then getting into the non-FESH finalists to let them know that they haven't. And for a couple of those, I need to arrange a specific time to talk with a couple of people about that. And these are all related to the business that I run. I have 2 other tasks. One is to create a proposal upload link for a module that I help with for my supervisor, and that's an at-desk task. I then have prep for a meeting that I have tomorrow, which is with a collaborator on a project, and that's an at-desk task. So first thing that helps is context, because once you figure out context, you can decide what tasks it makes sense to do together. And that can help you kind of get through when you've got a lot of things to do, get you in the zone. It can tend to slow us down if we're switching between different contexts. So a lot of the time I'll just be on my computer and it'll be a mixture of at desk and email tasks. So it's not like I really have too many different ones to choose between, but it helps to try and organize these into the appropriate context. When I'm not feeling like doing work, time and effort are 2 things that make a huge difference to how I get started on work. I like quick tick tasks to be out of the way, so it's really useful if I can try and get some of these shorter tasks done, because then I'll feel like I've got a large portion of the work done, even though there's still some longer tasks to be done. And usually that's enough, that like once I have the context and the time, I'll just kind of group together some shorter tasks. Like usually email tasks are a lot of short tasks. and I'll try and get a large portion of work done, and then I'll save a bit of time for longer tasks later in the day. But this week I've definitely been having more resistance, so I'm also putting in effort. And again, effort can be a huge help. So low effort tasks are easy to do. I'll usually try and get them out of the way because, again, sometimes the resistance comes from just having that feeling like you just don't want to get started. And when you do those low effort tasks, especially shorter low effort tasks, and when you get a couple of them done together in the same context, that can be a really nice start to work. Medium effort tasks, they just require a little bit more thought, maybe a little bit more time at sometimes, but it's really just that like the effort involved is a bit higher. And then high effort tasks, these are the ones that I really struggle with. These are the ones where I have some kind of fear around them. Usually it's because I'm worried about kind of feedback. So this is one where, I feel bad about some students not getting into the finals. So it's just a bit more of a high effort situation to be doing that. And these are the ones that I struggle with the most. So I'm going to leave that task until later on because firstly, the other tasks do take priority. This has to be done either today or tomorrow, whereas the re-enrollment stuff like needs to get sent, and everything else kind of on this top section is to do with re-enrollment pretty much. So looking at like the effort and the time and the context, I'm now thinking, okay, what way am I going to organize myself for what I'm going to work on? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these really quick tasks that I have here, and inbox zero and casting emails. I'm going to then check in on the payments and then do our re-enrollment email. And that should bring me up to my first kind of 60 minutes of work. And then I'll come back and I'll do the next phase of work, which is on contacting our previously interested students, the kind of promotion work. So these tasks here are kind of promotion based. So if I put these down, maybe I'll use a different marker. These tasks can all get done together. So I'm aiming to get those red tasks done in one block of about 60 minutes. I'll have a second block of about 90 minutes, another block of about 90 minutes, and then a final 60 minutes, which is that last one there, which I don't think I have a green marker. I know I did, but it seems to be gone. So this will just be a standalone task here. This will be number 1. Oh, this will be number 2. This will be number 3. And then this one will be number 4. And that is pretty much how I'm going to organize things for today. We'll see. I'll also leave some space, at the bottom for other stuff that kind of comes up that I feel like is maybe worth mentioning, because there might be additional tasks that I end up doing. Okay, so just a little update as I continue to work. I have gotten a good bit of the stuff done, but also some things took longer than I thought. The main thing that took longer than I thought was trying to sort payments out for this current term. And I was looking into a couple of different things. So like, long story short is I ended up spending an hour on something, trying to fix something on the website that wasn't working, trying to see if there was other payment processes that would have been better to try out, because my accountant wants us to reduce our expenses because Stripe fees are really expensive and there's other kind of cheaper ways to do it. But realistically, Stripe is the most convenient way for me to send things to parents, like just to say like, here's a link, pay us, instead of providing like individual invoices to every single person. Now there's pros and cons in that the invoices, it means I can send like automated reminders, but I also just like to kind of look through things on a spreadsheet myself and then send a bulk reminder to people if they haven't paid. I was trying to fix something that wasn't working on the website, trying to set up new things. So that all just took a long time. After that point, so it was like 11:30 to 1:30, I was doing that kind of like hour-long tasks. And then I had some lunch, and then I went through the kind of promotion side of things. So I still have one thing left to do on that. And like it's nearly 4 o'clock. So that is like nearly the whole workday gone. I'm going to take another little break now, eat something. I am going to prep for a meeting that I have tomorrow. So that is going to be a break from the kind of business side of things because I need a break from that. This is the one task that I'm thinking probably I'm going to move forward to tomorrow. And then this is what I'm going to do next, prep for meeting. And then this is the maybe quick office tour. Not sure when the last time you guys were here is. We have our kind of like self-tape space over here, and then like some spare chairs, and then some more books and other stuff stored. And then we have the kind of kitchenette area. And then this will very soon be completely full of all of the books that I have stored in a friend's basement. I feel like it's kind of gross to heat up salmon in the microwave. However, like I'm the only one who has to deal with it. So maybe it's kind of okay. And you know what? I'm freezing, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to risk it. Just feel like I need a warm meal. I also need to grab some water. I've been like pretty focused, I will say, for the last couple hours, especially like it's hard sometimes in the face of pure annoyance when things take longer, like, and then you're just like, am I going to get any of this stuff done? So I think I've done pretty well, all things considered, because it's not always easy when things take longer than you want. And I've managed to stay on track, thankfully. I'm starting to feel like I am going to get the stuff that I wanted to get done for the week tomorrow, even though it feels like a lot sometimes, as you can see, all of these things here. I think breaking them down in this way helps me so much. And like already I feel so much better about the week. Like yesterday I was like not doing too well about it. Hello, it's me from the future. I will be very quickly reflecting on this vlog because I don't feel like I have that much to say about it. Firstly, just this camera has been such a game changer. I really love it. If you are interested, I will have it linked down below. Just the tracking feature is so good. Having the microphone is really handy for filming out and about. I also didn't realize when I first filmed with this camera that it films in 4K, so I have that set up now if I want to do that. So future vlogs I'll be able to film at a high quality. Burnout obviously being experienced here. I was really frustrated after that time and spending that weekend on that paper. It did get accepted to the conference. I'm actually not going to go to the conference because it's in Mexico, and I kind of had a goal this year not to do any further than Europe travel, because last year I did quite a lot of that and it was stressful. So my goal this year was local travels only. My supervisor is going to the conference, so he's going to present our work, and that is fine by me. But also I have a really busy summer, which I'm going to tell you about very soon, and so it's just not really worthwhile for me to do that. In looking back at this footage, I wish I was able to take more time off, but I remember the exact week that was in it, there was just absolutely no way. That weekend though, I feel like I had a breakthrough and a breakdown. 2 in 1. I had some time off at the weekend. I had Saturday off and I didn't really know what to do with myself, and that's always a hard time. That led me down the pathway of learning that I really need to get an administrative assistant, which you'll have heard me kind of talk about briefly in my recent CEO vlog. Now looking back on it, because I know that that's not what the future looks like for me, and that's kind of an exciting place to be at for myself. Other than that, nothing to report, but I'm looking forward to taking you along the journey a little bit more of what's going on and the changes that I will be experiencing. Oh, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up because that really helps out my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And then if you're looking for something else to watch, I have a couple of other vlogs that I filmed recently, and here is a playlist for you to see where they all are, in case you are wanting more of this lifestyle style content.